video is going to be today, but I thought I'd film me opening some posts that I've received, and something that I went out and bought today. For those of you that watched my Fruity Booty skate unboxing, you might have noticed in that video that I mentioned that the skates might be too small for me. And it turned out they were marginally too small. But upon a friend's recommendation, and taking full responsibility for my decision making myself, and not blaming anyone else, so I'll redact that statement about the friend, I made modifications to the boot, cutting them in certain places to give them more room. By doing so, obviousI avoided the warranty. They're only just too small to cruise around in. They're fine. To try and jump or grind in, I end up hitting my toes in the front just. So I've bought something to try and help with it. What the fuck is that guy doing with that envelope? What does this envelope have to do with the fact that the inline skates that I bought were marginally too small? Well, let's find out now. They probably aren't the best scissors to use. They're very small. They make sense as part of a utilitarian, all-in-one item. intention for these bits is to just bore out the inside of the boot where the toe is. It's only my big toe that's just about hitting the big toe, and the plastic is quite thick. So my plan is to use some of these bits to get inside the toe of the boot with a drill and just wear it down a bit. I tried doing it by hand with with sandpaper, but the plastic is quite sturdy and the angle for infiltration was quite awkward, so I wasn't able to get a good rhythm or a high enough level of pressure in order to wear it down effectively by hand. So these were quite cheap. I think $2.99. Obviously not brand name, but I only need them for one job, so they only need to last for one. So here are the drill bits. Which ones do I think will be effective? If I'm having trouble reaching into the toe of the boot, this one has quite good length on it, so it could be handy. This one, I quite like the outer barrel size and shape, but this is a bit too pointy when this one has the same kind of point, but with more reach. But this still could be useful. This one is quite smooth, angled along the side. Could be useful for up the inside edge of the boot if my foot was facing you now, my right foot, so my big toe was here. Then getting into the boot, it might be good for pushing out that inside edge, trying to make it more straight on the inside of the boot, so that could be handy. Let's stay with the wide diameter mounts. The round one, I think this one might be one of the more useful ones, because it's got this kind of broad and wide surface area that's curved, that if you imagine a tight is just kind of pushing into it would hit more surface area at one given time, allowing it to kind of push through and move it out without creating any sharp angles. I predict this one will come in handy. This one is kind of a bit of a brutish looking one, isn't it? It's got this flat top on it with these hard edges. If I did need to perhaps start by making some real progress and just make some harsh changes to the features and the dimensions of the inside of the boot, this actually could be good to start with and just really cut into the natural curve and give myself instant space, and then follow up with a smoother angled piece afterwards to just round it again. And then of course these just appear to be little babby versions of the same bits. Almost. Not identically, but the last three that I'm placing seem to be like miniaturized versions of their larger counterparts. I can't imagine that I'll end up using these smaller bits, but they're there, in case I do decide to use them. So that is something I'll be doing after I make the video today, which will be far too loud for me to make a video for. But we have this unboxing one here today. Next is a bike light. This light I bought for my commuting bike for work. I've actually just finished charging it via this USB port, and it attaches to the cycle with this magnetized clasp and rubber ring. This is a Nog arc blinder 5.1. I've just finished charging it. As you can see, it's quite bright. I think that's the brightest setting. The medium, the low, and the strobe. Hold it, release, and turn off. The strobe is actually, it uses up far less energy than the other lights, so I have it on strobe. Motorists are more likely to see you as well. But when I bought the commuting bike, it had a very cheap naff rear light and front light to begin with, and I haven't replaced the rear light yet until today. I took a stroll down to my local shop. It's about a 15-minute walk from my place, and asked for a good rear light, and this is what they recommended. It wasn't cheap, unfortunately. This was £45. Yeah, but you know, it's my safety, and I'd like to. I'm not gonna lie, I do like quality. I do like to pay extra if I think I'm gonna get good quality. Not that I'm the kind of person that makes enough money to always be going after the best quality, but for certain things, yeah, definitely, I don't want to cut corners or go cheap on. I'd rather, just wait and save my money until I can afford something better than spend money in the short term. something cheaper. I don't know much about this light. I just went down to the shop today. The brand is Moon. Light the way you ride on. This is a 100 lumens water resist USB board, CNC aluminium heat sink cooling system, universal mounting system, USB remote control system, rectangular ring. The information on the side here is more interesting. They're just kind of nothing. It has a 270 degree total angle with a 60 degree spot angle. So that's really good. I don't believe that it has a 270 degree total angle. I think that might be stretching it a bit. But if it has, around 180 degrees or more, that's good, because I think most accidents are normally crossing junctions and someone runs a red light on either side of the junction and someone gets hit from the side. So the reason I went for this arc light is that it gives one of the widest arcs. It doesn't look like it from the kind of very forward focused lens, but it actually diffracts the light outwards on a wide arc. So with the idea being that people will be able to see me from the sides if they're approaching a junction. So it claims to have 270 degree total arc with a 60 degree spot arc. So hopefully people will be able to see me from the sides with this light, as well as behind, obviously. A little bit of information before I take it out. The contents are an RB22 universal bracket, 2 O-rings for mounting, an RS-G O-ring and an RS-H O-ring, a BK21 belt clip, an RB21 saddle rail bracket, and a USB WB water resistant USB cable, in case you wanted to charge it in the rain, obviously, as people tend to do. Optional accessories include an RB23 helmet bracket and an USB RM1200 USB remote control. Caution: do not look at or shine this lamp directly into eyes. It weighs 44 grams and the charge time is 3 hours. On low settings, it will last up to 7 hours and 30 minutes. On standard, it will last up to 3 hours and 30 minutes. On high, it will last up to 2 hours and 15 minutes. On overdrive, it will last up to 1 hour and 10 minutes. If you're not familiar with bike lights, for an internally charged light, that's about the standard time that you get. I mean, when I first bought this light, I thought that's not long at all, but looking at other lights, it's kind of standard. And then for flashing or strobing, 10% flash up to 20 hours and 40 minutes. So you see the why people go for strobing. 50% flashing up to 4 hours and 30 minutes. 100% flashing up to 2 hours and 10 minutes. And strobe up to 10 hours and 35 minutes. Okay, let me just check my recording. Is recording. Recording seems okay. Let's take it out. sure how that works. I think it does have helmet mounts in there. So let's look at the user guide. Okay, so there are I'm not sure what that is. It almost looks like a belt clip, but the back of the light has this mount here, which I imagine does work with this. Although I don't know why I'm trying to put it in there, just to show that it does, but my intention isn't to use this anyway. But it doesn't seem to want to go in, unless I just need to be a bit more forceful. So I guess that could be like a belt clip, which, you know, I mean, it gives it multi-purpose if I wanted to use it for some purpose that required that. I can't instantly think of anything that I would want to use it for in that respect. Here, I think this is for these two holes here, so you could mount that onto, I imagine, the rails of a bicycle seat. So you could actually, if you had, let's say, the back of the saddle is here, facing, the front is facing me and the rear is facing you, and the rails were as such, you could have it attached here, so it was kind of free hanging, which I might actually use that instead, because it'll be sturdier for sure. And I think in that way, because of the clearance, it would probably work best as a horizontal mount than a vertical mount, although I don't know if the dimensions are designed that it'll only go in vertically. So obviously it goes in vertically, but there might not be clearance past the back of the saddle there. It's nice and stiff, which is good, obviously. Now it does go in both ways. Although I'm not actually sure which way it's intended in the diagrams on the paperwork. It appears as though it is intended to be used vertically. So this is for the seat post mount. So you have two rubber stock pads that will touch up against the seat post, and then a rubber O-ring that will go around the seat post. So your seat post will be here. And there are two different size O-rings for two different sized, two different diameter seat posts and tightness. So let's say that this rubber did dry out over time and break, crack, then there's always this option. So I'm not sure what I'll go for first. And here's the panel that you reveal to insert the USB charger. See how easy that is. That's nice. And actually the housing on the charger fills the recess to kind of, I guess that's what they mean by waterproof. Again, I don't know why you'd want that to be waterproof. I don't know why you'd be charging electrical devices in the rain. However, the fact that it does fill the recess means that you're less likely to, if you knocked it or if it got bashed off or fell or yanked by accident, you're less likely to bend and snap, although I don't think it would prevent it entirely. It might reduce the likelihood of something terrible happening. Let's see if it's got any charge. It doesn't appear to have any charge. What I'll do is I'll actually plug it in and start charging it now. Plug it in and start charging it now, and then give a small demonstration at the end of the video as to what the light looks like when it's on. Hello, and welcome back to the video. I have put this moon nebula real light on charge for quite a while now. It was going to be a quick charge, but when I removed the SD card from my camera to check the footage, it corrupted, so I had to format the memory card itself, and I wasn't happy with the Magic Lantern firmware that was installed, so I downloaded an older stable version of the firmware, which has to be installed on a card that's 32 gig or less. So I had to format an 8 gigabyte card. Then I had to download the old firmware, move it on. Then I had to install that firmware onto the camera. Then I had to format the 64 gigabyte memory card. Then I had to use a boot app to make it bootable. And then I had to copy the Magic Lantern old firmware onto it, and then run it. And it took a few attempts, but we're here now. It's an older version with less features, but it's a stable version. I don't know why the card corrupted. I think it's something to do with the newer version of the firmware. Anyway, this is charged. I've had a quick look, and it is insanely bright. So, let's check it out. This is I believe this is the lowest setting. There's your medium setting. There's your bright setting. And there's your brightest setting. Put it back to low, and then a double tap. Strobe 1. Strobe 2. Jeez, strobe 3. So really bright. And epilepsy. I mean, no one's gonna miss you, are they? Let's face it. But it's very obnoxious. I wouldn't do that to the drivers. I don't think that's fair. So to be honest, I think that's gonna be the one for me. It was on charge for about an hour or so. So what I'll do is I'll just pop it back onto charge after I've stopped recording. I'll probably go with the smallest O-ring, just so that I know it's really firm, really tight on there. Or perhaps I'll go for the undersaddle mount. We'll see. But yeah, that is that's going to be the end of the video, I think. No flaps. That's going to be the end of the video. Whoops. I will attempt to pop the packaging back into its original state. I like to keep all my boxes in case I decide to sell any of these items one day, which I may do, or at least I'd like to have the option available to me to perhaps sell any of the items that I've kept in good condition. For example, I think it goes this way anyway. For example, my graphics cards for my PC. I have two Asus Strix GTX 970s in my computer currently, but there are newer cards just on the horizon, so if I decided to get one of those, I could possibly sell my dual cards and make a profit on them and upgrade to a more power efficient and impressive performing card from the new range. Possibly. I don't know if I'd make money or not, because you'd imagine that the arrival of the new cards will drive down the prices of the old cards. But that's just something we'll have to I'll have to wait and see about in the coming months. I won't get a new graphics card when they first come out anyway. It's good to wait and that's interesting. Oh, you press that one. Wait and see what the reviews are, and wait for aftermarket cards to come out with better coolers as the sorry, that's probably really annoying. Oh no, I've done the wrong thing. toilets that are brought out by the manufacturers don't have good coolers built in, but you never know, these new ones might have nice coolers on them. We'll just have to wait and see about that. Anyway, enough dawdling, as it were. I am going to finish this video up now, and I will do so by thanking you for tuning in and watching. I hope that you've enjoyed it and the flashing lights weren't too unpleasant. And I will see you all, or you will all see me, I should say,